What's up, everyone? Ian and Kyle here. We'll put his information in the text box below. He's going to coach me through an adductor drawback right now, so I'll go ahead and hand it over to him.
So as we're doing the adductor drawback, this is a drill that I'll do with people who have a asymmetrical hip shift. So as they squat, they're shifting into one side. You see their pelvis move over, right? Pretty common. It's something we see quite a bit of. So I'm going to get Ian set up here. He's going to be in a split squat position, and he's going to be in an inline position with this. So we're careful to go against a wall or a plyo box because I do want his full foot against that or as close as you can. If you're not able to dorsiflex or get the heel all the way to the wall, you can put a towel there. You can slip something in there. That's totally fine. From the front view, you notice that Ian's also going to be a little inline, right? So his tibia and knee are vertical, and they're kind of right in front of his sternum. So that's where we want to be as well, because as he's shifting into the right hip, we need to get a lot of left adductor and a lot of right glute to get him positioned back over. So he's going to be tucking and squeezing the right glute. He's pulling this heel into the med ball. That's why we have it there, just to create a little bit of resistance. And then he's also getting a lot of adductor stabilization just by holding his leg where he's at. So that's the lower half, that's the pelvis. What we're also gonna do is now have him reach with his right arm and rotate his rib cage. And we're gonna get a lot of left oblique. And you notice he's still staring straight ahead. I don't want him staring off to the side, right? So we're getting a lot of left oblique, left adductor, and right glute. And that's going to help reposition his pelvis and rib cage so that he can get more vertical in that squat pattern. You feeling everything you should be feeling?
Unfortunately, yes.
So we're gonna do the same thing here that we've done with 90-90 breathing. He's gonna do 3 big inhales and exhales as he goes through this. Good. Nice.
So what are some of the things that maybe I shouldn't feel?
So we don't want to feel lower back, right? If you're feeling back erectors or lats, I know that you've lost that hip tuck. And then we don't want to necessarily feel quad or hip flexor issues on that right side either. We want to make sure we keep everything back in the glute. All right, so just as a review from the side on the adductor drawback, the big points that we're looking at are the ankle, the pelvis, and then the knee itself on the lower body. So we want to make sure that the foot is fully touching the wall or the plyo box behind us. Ian's got a little bit of a hard time getting enough dorsiflexion to get the heel all the way back, which a lot of people will. So you can do one of 2 things. You can put a pad under the knee, or I usually put a towel behind the heel just so he gets a good reference point. So have you come away a little bit. Just scoot a little bit away there. And then he's gonna press into that towel so he's got a full reference on that foot. He's keeping this hip rotated, so he's got a nice neutral spine here. He's not in that extension pattern. And then what we're looking at from this heel is he's pulling this back into the med ball. And then he's gonna reach straight across with the opposite hand. His eyes are gonna stay forward. Good, and we should have on the left side, hamstring and oblique, and on the right side, quite a bit of glute. And that's gonna help stabilize his pelvis and rib cage to get more linear on that squat.
So I think one of the questions that would probably be the most popular about this is, when should I do one side? When should I do both sides? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, that's a question that I get quite a bit on social media. So as a corrective drill, right, if you have an extreme hip shift, we're gonna start with one side until we start getting evened out a little bit. But there's really no downside in doing both sides as you get better alignment. This is a drill that I also use a lot with multi-directional athletes and runners because it mirrors the gait cycle. So when I'm working with somebody in an athletic population, I'll definitely do both sides as a warm up because we're looking at that contralateral oblique to adductor relationship. And that's going to help people within their actual gait from a running perspective, whether they're on the right or left side.
Awesome. And then what about the question that I probably get asked the most is what about sets and reps, knowing that it's impossible to give for someone, but maybe a good starting point, a general starting point that someone could kind of introduce this for themselves.
Yeah, so I use breaths as reps. So with this, so I don't usually time these as much as I'm just looking for 2 to 3 really deep full breaths for 2 to 3 sets. And the idea behind all of these is you want to be able to decrease them over time, right? We should be getting enough progress to where we don't have to go through these drills over and over and over again because they are sensory motor and competency based. So if we're doing these well and then we're strength training well, we should get to a point where we don't have to do them anymore after a period of time.
I think that's a really great point, and I think that kind of ties into maybe something that you're more used to seeing on our page, what we refer to as almost like cold mobility. So we don't want to do cars and pails and rails forever. We do them because we need them to do the stuff that we love. So the idea is not to be the best person at this drill for 20 years straight. It's to do it so well that the changes stick, and then you can move on and progress to the overload in whatever other ways you want to do. So you're basically not warming up for 3 hours.
Yes,
right?
I talk to a lot of people about the adductor drawback Olympics.
Yeah.
Right. There's no gold medal for protecting this.
Yeah, so that makes perfect sense. So if you guys have any questions about that, definitely let us know. You can leave them right below, and we'll make sure that we answer them. Enjoy the rest of your day.